Imagine a solitary scientific breakthrough, one so revolutionary that it could tip the scales in the global fight against cancer and trigger billion-dollar deals overnight. It sounds like a scene from a futuristic drama, but this is the real-life ambition of Korean biotech innovator GI Innovation. The company claims it has developed a next-generation antibody platform, one with the potential to outpace even the most formidable pharmaceutical titans across North America, Europe, and Asia. But can this bold promise hold up under the glaring spotlight of global competition, relentless investor scrutiny, and the unforgiving realities of clinical trials where failure is the norm and success is rare? To truly grasp what's at stake, let's rewind for a moment. GI Innovation was founded in South Korea in the year 2017, a time when the global biotech industry was entering a new renaissance, powered by breakthroughs in genomics, protein engineering, and artificial intelligence-driven discovery. The company's early momentum came from its focus on two of the most dynamic frontiers in biotechnology: fusion protein engineering and antibody design. These technologies are at the heart of the modern biotech revolution, enabling scientists to create highly customized therapies that can precisely target disease mechanisms once thought untouchable. The first major spark for GI Innovation came through a lucrative partnership with Yuhan Corporation, a Korean pharmaceutical heavyweight with a century-long legacy of drug development. This deal centered on GI 301, an innovative allergy treatment, and was valued at $100 million in upfront payments, with the tantalizing prospect of an additional $200 million in milestone royalties. This partnership signaled to the world that GI Innovation was not just a promising upstart, but a serious player with the ability to commercialize its discoveries. But for GI Innovation, allergies were just the starting point. Their real ambition was far greater: to change the way humanity combats cancer itself. Today, the main focus is on oncology, specifically on immunotherapies that leverage the body's own defenses, its immune system, to identify and destroy cancer cells. This is a field that has seen breathtaking advances in the past decade. For example, in the early 2010s, immunotherapies such as checkpoint inhibitors turned certain types of once lethal cancers, like advanced melanoma, into treatable or even manageable diseases. Yet, even as these therapies have saved thousands of lives, many patients still relapse, and tumors find clever ways to evade immune attacks. GI Innovation's flagship candidates, GI 101 and GI 102, are designed to target these very challenges. GI 101 is a pioneering fusion protein that targets two key immune system molecules, IQOS and 4-1BB. By activating both, it supercharges T-cell activity, helping the immune system to recognize and destroy cancer cells more effectively. GI 102, meanwhile, is a bispecific antibody that blocks both PD-L1 and VEGF, two proteins that tumors use to hide from immune cells and stimulate the growth of new blood vessels. By hitting both targets at once, GI 102 aims to shut down cancer's defenses from multiple angles. The competition is nothing short of fierce. Industry titans like Roche, Bristol Myers Squibb, and Innovent Biologics are all racing to dominate the immuno-oncology arena. These companies have decades of experience, vast research budgets, and global commercial networks. Yet Dr. Lee Seung-woo, a leading scientist at Samsung Biologics, has publicly stated, GI Innovation's pipeline is one of the most creative in global oncology today. Such praise is not easily won in a world where skepticism and caution are the norm. But what truly set tongues wagging at this year's BioUSA conference in Boston was the dramatic unveiling of GI 128, a new drug candidate that could redefine the boundaries of immunotherapy. What makes GI 128 so intriguing? It's designed to engage macrophages, the immune system's own cellular first responders. Macrophages are found in nearly every tissue of the body and are among the first cells to react when something goes wrong. In cancer, tumors often manipulate these cells to suppress immune responses and promote tumor growth. But GI 128 seeks to reverse this, turning macrophages from tumor accomplices into powerful tumor destroyers. Dr. Nari Yoon, the company's clinical strategy lead, explained that GI 128 is not just another antibody. It represents the spearhead of a trispecific antibody platform, a molecular Swiss Army knife. This single molecule integrates a PD-L1 antibody, a VEGF antibody, and a macrophage engager. In effect, it attacks cancer on three critical fronts: disabling the tumor's ability to hide from immune cells, cutting off its blood supply and unleashing macrophages against it. This technology could unlock new avenues in cancer immunotherapy, Dr. Yoon declared, her confidence drawing crowds of investors, scientists, and journalists to the GI Innovation booth. This excitement is not mere hype. The data tells a compelling story. After GI Innovation's BioUSA presentation, its stock price on South Korea's Kosdaq exchange soared by 15%. In a market where Bristol-Myers Squibb recently struck an $11.1 billion deal for similar dual-target antibody technology, and where Merck shelled out nearly $3.3 billion for its own partnerships, GI Innovation's rapid ascent is impossible to ignore. In fact, their preclinical trials for GI-102 have already demonstrated a complete response rate of 30%, a full 15% improvement over the best-in-class bispecific therapies available today. That means nearly 1 in 3 animal models saw their cancer effectively eradicated, compared to the 1 in 5 typically seen with current therapies. But here's where the stakes get truly high, and the risks even higher. Advancing GI-128 from the lab bench through to a successful Phase 3 clinical trial will require a staggering $250 million in investment. This is an enormous sum for any biotech company, especially one still establishing its global presence. And the odds are daunting. Industry statistics show that fewer than 1 in 10 oncology drug candidates that enter human trials ever make it to market. An Evaluate Pharma analyst summed up the situation bluntly. GI-128 is the epitome of high risk, high reward. And while GI Innovation's collaborations with pharmaceutical giants such as MSD, Merck Sharp and Dohme, and AstraZeneca provide access to new capital, technical expertise, and global regulatory know-how, these partnerships are not a guarantee of success. Clinical trials are grueling, requiring flawless execution and the ability to adapt quickly to unexpected data. Regulatory pathways, especially in the United States, the European Union, and major Asian markets, can shift overnight. Even a single negative data point, such as an unexpected safety signal or a missed trial endpoint, can send investor confidence and the company's market value into a tailspin. So, as GI Innovation pushes forward, it is also investing heavily in its own capabilities. The company is channeling over $20 million into expanding its Boston research hub, placing itself at the heart of one of the world's leading biotech clusters. This new facility is designed to support not just laboratory research, but also data science and clinical trial operations, leveraging cutting-edge technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning to accelerate drug discovery and optimize trial design. By partnering with local AI firms, GI Innovation aims to identify novel drug targets, streamline molecule design, and predict clinical outcomes with unprecedented accuracy. But what does all this mean for the future of cancer therapy, and for the millions of patients and families around the world who are waiting for a breakthrough? Let's explore some possible scenarios. If GI-128's Phase 1 clinical trial, which is set to deliver its first results in the last quarter of the year 2025, confirms the promise seen in preclinical studies, the impact could be profound. Imagine a complete response rate 30% higher than today's best therapies. This would not only represent a scientific milestone, but could also offer a genuine lifeline for patients with advanced, treatment-resistant cancers. For example, individuals with metastatic solid tumors who have exhausted existing options may finally have hope for durable remission or even cure. However, the road ahead is paved with uncertainty and risk. Regulatory hurdles in the United States, the European Union, and Asia are famously complex and demanding. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, for instance, has in recent years tightened its standards for accelerated approval, requiring not just promising early data, but also robust evidence of long-term benefit and safety. One failed endpoint, one adverse event, or one misstep in trial design could spell disaster. As Dr. Peter Kolchinsky of RA Capital Management warns, this is a high-risk, high-reward play. The science is elegant, but clinical validation is everything. On the business front, GI Innovation is pursuing an aggressive strategy of licensing and co-development agreements, seeking to mirror the billion-dollar deals recently seen between Bristol-Myers Squibb and BioNTech or Merck and Lenovo Medicines. By sharing risk and tapping into the global reach of established pharmaceutical partners, GI Innovation hopes to accelerate both funding and market access. Yet the competition remains intense. Roche, Innovent Biologics, Merck, and others are all racing to capture a dominant share of the immuno-oncology market. In this high-stakes contest, a single regulatory win or loss could tip the balance of power for years, if not decades, to come. But perhaps the most profound takeaway for viewers is what this story reveals about the changing nature of the global biotech industry. Gone are the days when drug development was a one-company show, dictated by a handful of Western pharmaceutical giants. Today, alliances, cross-border deals, and AI-driven discovery are rapidly rewriting the rules of the game. If you are an investor, understanding the value of intellectual property, like GI Innovation's portfolio of more than 50 patents, can help you spot tomorrow's winners before the headlines hit. For patients and families, today's news could shape tomorrow's treatment options. Breakthroughs like trispecific antibodies may soon redefine the standard of care for some of the world's most difficult-to-treat cancers, such as triple-negative breast cancer, advanced lung cancer, or refractory colorectal cancer. The prospect of therapies that not only attack tumors from several angles but also recruit the body's own immune cells as allies is a paradigm shift, one that could transform survival rates and quality of life for millions. Even beyond investing or medicine, there is a broader lesson here. We are witnessing the rise of Korean biotech on the global stage. Once seen as a follower in the pharmaceutical industry, Korea is now producing companies like GI Innovation that challenge industry giants with fresh ideas, nimble strategies, and a willingness to take calculated risks. As Dr. N. Nari, GI Innovation's clinical strategy lead, puts it, "Our goal is to bring hope where none existed by pushing the boundaries of immune science." What does the future hold? If GI Innovation succeeds in delivering a new gold standard in cancer therapy, it could set off a wave of investment and innovation across Asia and beyond. Already, the company's expansion into Boston, a $20 million bet on bridging East and West, is creating new opportunities for scientific exchange and collaboration. By tapping into the region's deep talent pool and research infrastructure, GI Innovation is positioning itself at the center of a global network of discovery. But the risks remain real. Setbacks in the clinic, delays in regulatory approval, or shifts in investor sentiment could threaten the entire enterprise. As Anna Park from Mirai Asset Securities notes, validation from partners is encouraging, but nothing replaces strong clinical data. In other words, partnerships and patents are important, but the ultimate test is whether GI Innovation's therapies can deliver real benefit to patients in the clinic. Here's a secret that most investors miss. Behind every biotech headline is an invisible arms race in patents and partnerships. The companies with the strongest networks, the deepest intellectual property portfolios, and the smartest strategic alliances often come out on top, even if their early clinical data is only average. Conversely, a company with a breakthrough therapy but weak business fundamentals may struggle to survive the long, costly journey to market. For anyone looking to stay ahead of the curve, whether as an investor, a patient, or simply a global citizen, the message is clear. Watch both the giants and the upstarts. Big breakthroughs are rarely sudden. They are built on years of unseen risk-taking, smart alliances, and patient, persistent science. The story of GI Innovation is still being written, and its outcome will depend on a mix of vision, execution, and a little bit of luck. So, will GI Innovation overcome the odds to deliver a new era in cancer therapy? Or will the established titans outpace them, as so often happens in this industry? The answer is, the story is only just beginning. The combination of scientific courage, strategic partnerships, and relentless innovation gives GI Innovation a genuine shot at changing the landscape. If GI 128 achieves its projected 15% jump in response rates over the best therapies available today, it could indeed set a new benchmark for the field. But setbacks, whether in the clinic, the boardroom, or the regulatory arena, remain ever-present threats. As we close, remember, in the world of biotech, nothing is certain. But for those who dare to dream big, take risks, and build bridges across science and business, the rewards can be extraordinary, not only in financial terms, but in lives changed and hope restored. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit like and subscribe. What do you think? Will GI Innovation become the next powerhouse in cancer therapy, or will the giants ultimately outpace them? Share your prediction in the comments below. And don't miss our next video, where we'll reveal how artificial intelligence-driven drug discovery is